Hi, welcome to Lisa's Kitchen. Today, Lisa's gonna show us some of the cool things she does to help organize her kitchen. But before we do that, I wanna go through an overview of our kitchen so you know where things are and how it's laid out. And also because I have no idea what all the little organizational things are. So when we make our YouTube videos, we typically either use this perspective or this perspective. You may notice, this looks like we don't have a sink. We actually do have a sink in our kitchen. So why don't we take that camera off a tripod and let's go around the kitchen and I'll kind of show you how things are laid out. So. Yeah, right. Okay, the first thing to do is to zoom out to give you a bigger perspective on this whole kitchen. Okay, now, from here, we actually did decide to get a sink. It was an upgrade, but we felt it was worth it. So it's right here on the peninsula that kind of connects all of this. That comes over here to this buffet kind of storage area thing with lots of plants, and there's stuff in here that I don't know. I don't understand it. Okay, from here, taking a step back, we've got the island. Now the island is where Lisa does all of her prep stuff. Some things that you don't normally see, but if you look that way, is our dining room, yay! And then back here to me, hello, yeah. This is the island for prep. Now most kitchens, you may have heard in the past where you need the triangle setup, and so you're supposed to have a triangle of your refrigerator, your sink, and your stove, and just as close as you can get them in a magic triangle of fun. That's not how we did it. So more modern kitchens typically will actually have zones of different things, and so you get to pick your zones on how you work and what you do, which is great. So for us, we have over here at the sink, we kind of have the prep wash zone, and then over here we kind of have the food prep cut, mix zone, and then over here we have the cook zone. So why don't you come over here? So then we have our cooktop here, and back here we have our ovens, A and B, love and respect. There's different appliances here and different levels of comfort with them for different family members. And so, for example, one appliance that some of us are more comfortable with than others is over here. We actually have the microwave. Some of us are very familiar with how the microwave works, but others of us, Lisa, doesn't use the microwave as often. Okay, so then back this way we actually have our pantry, which Lisa doesn't allow me to show people. Come around this way and you'll get to see behind the scenes. This is behind the island. This is where we stand. Woo! And over here we have a few peaches. Apparently we're going to be doing a peach video soon. So if you're interested in that, hit subscribe and stick around so that you can catch that when we release it. Now we have a few drawers here where we've got Anyway, now that you have some good idea about the layout of the kitchen, let's go to Lisa and have her describe some of her favorite organizational things.
There's a lot of stuff that goes into cooking, and I've been asked how to organize it all. So let's take a look in a few areas where I have some tricks. First is the spice drawer next to my stove. I've laid my spices out flat in the drawer so I can see them all. Only the spices that I tend to use at the stove are in this drawer. My baking spices are in a baking drawer, and my big containers that I can refill these with are in the pantry. This is by far my favorite. This was a gift to me from my sister, made by a potter in Taos, New Mexico. This is my salt cellar, and I keep kosher salt in it on the counter at all times. I can just reach in and sprinkle what I need. It's ceramic, and it sits here, ready for action. The next thing to talk about is pots and pans. I store mine in a drawer under the stovetop. Let's take a look. I love these pots and pans by Calphalon. These stack beautifully. They're all one of two sizes, and they catch on one another so that they stack just right on top. If you stack the smallest pan, the shallowest pan, on the bottom, they will make a beautiful tower in your drawer or cabinet. I also love the lids, that there's no handle on top. The handles are all to the sides. They sit beautifully on the pans and they stack nicely in one tower in the drawer. Now let's take a look at serving pieces. These can be a challenge. You don't need them in your way day to day, but you do need them handy when you're having an event. I have some extra deep drawers here, and that makes a challenge for storing small items. So in this drawer, I've actually stacked some organizing pieces. I can lift them out, and since I don't need these day to day, it's not a big deal to lift these to find what I need. I store things like tongs and large spoons and napkin rings in this drawer. If you have a double deep drawer like this is a good way to maximize usage. The next important piece on our tour are knives. It's so important to store your knives carefully. Storing them in the drawer is very bad for the blades because they can chip and you could cut yourself if they're just floating around in there. So it's important to store them either in a block, maybe on your countertop or in a cabinet, or in this case, in a drawer in a specially designed knife holder. I store my knives near where I use them on the island in my kitchen. This knife holder is made of bamboo and cork. The cork allows each knife to stand vertically, protected. It has a cork bottom to protect the blades as well. It's a great way to keep your knives safe in a drawer if that's where you have to store them. I highly recommend it. The next stop on our organizational tour is behind me. This is in my baking zone. It's another drawer where I house all of the baking supplies that I use. I've organized this drawer with just some plastic bins. These are adjustable in width, and I hold small spatulas, large spatulas. My measuring cups and spoons belong in this drawer as well. This is my favorite part of the drawer. This rolling pin. This very long rolling pin fits beautifully just in the length of the drawer. I couldn't have planned that better if I'd tried. Now we come to my favorite baking area, this drawer. This has all of my standard baking ingredients. Lots of times I can just open this drawer, pull out the ingredients, measure and return them right here where they belong. This has several different kinds of flour, my sugars, vanilla extract, salt, baking powder, baking soda, chocolate chips, of course, cocoa powder, cinnamon. The things I use the very most belong in this drawer. They're easily accessed and can go right back after I've measured and used them. This drawer is a full 3 feet wide, 1.5 feet front to back, and 8 inches deep. I know this isn't very common in kitchens, but if you ever have the opportunity to build or renovate, consider something like this. Otherwise, if you're in a standard kitchen, you might group your baking things together on a tray or in a basket to pull them out for the same type of convenience. This baking drawer is one of my favorite areas of the kitchen. Let me show you some baking things that I'm maybe a little less proud of. I have a lot of cake decorating supplies, and they're hidden in the pantry. So I'm here in my pantry, contemplating whether or not to show you this. I may have a problem with baking supplies.
Can I zoom out?
If you must. There's a lot there, guys. I have 3 whole boxes full of sprinkles and twice as many boxes of cookie cutters. I may have a problem.
May have a problem.
Hush you! I've made a hefty investment in the Container Store to store all of my cooking supplies. Let's not talk about the pantry anymore, shall we? What about you? Do you have any kitchen organizational tips? Drop them in the comments below. If you like this, be sure to subscribe for more kitchen talk and recipes.